guys gear up for these final two games before the All-Star break, what was the focus level like today, and what did you guys really hone in on as you prepare for these final two games?
Well, there was a lot of cleanup. Obviously, not having not having practices for quite a few days, but being able to get one in today was really good. Focusing on offensive execution, taking care of the basketball, defensively, making sure we physical without fouling, and then cleaning up the rebounding situation.
How special is tomorrow night for this team, this franchise, and what's the message to the team when you have a night like that?
I think
I don't know what's going on behind me, so we'll restart. How special is tomorrow night with everything going on with the national TV game, and they're just going to keep doing that? That's all right.
They're going to keep doing that, but that's this group. They're going to do as much silly stuff as they can in the moment just to try to distract us. But tomorrow night, I think, is extremely special. Being the 35th anniversary, being that it's Shaq and who put this, this franchise and organization on the map in so many ways. What he means to this community, what he means to the organization, and what he's, just what he's done with his body of work. I just really think it's such a great environment for our guys to experience what the history of this team has meant, not just to Shaq, but also just to the city. I think that when the guys can feel and recognize that why the fans are the way they are, night in, night out, I think that goes such a long way.
How do you sort of balance the bigness of tomorrow's game? It's on national TV, of course, the jersey retirement, but also I know everyone always freaks out, just another game day, just another opponent. Like, how do you balance that?
You have to just tell things as they are. With a young group that's growing and learning how to win, learning how to play, learning the ins and outs of the NBA, you have to speak reality to all of it. It is a bigger game. You're going to be on national TV. It is the retirement of Shaq's jersey. Those are all things that are in real time. And so you address them so they can process it the right way and understand exactly, don't make the moment bigger than it is, but just realize that this is a moment and that we still have to focus on the game. That's the most important piece right now.
How do you adjust to some of the bells and whistles that might come with the national TV game? I think the timeouts are a little longer, halftime's a little bit longer. You might be mic'd up. I know the guys are going to get extra interviews.
Yeah.
How do you adjust to kind of the bells and whistles and keep everyone grounded?
I just stay in the moment. I think no matter if the timeout's extra 2 minutes or extra 1 minute, you stay in the moment, whatever you're doing at that time. And I think that's how you help these guys just stay present in what we're trying to do, accomplishing the game plan. And that's what you want these guys to get used to it. And that's what the other part of this is, that you want to get used to being in that situation so you understand how to handle it. We've talked about it from the beginning of the year. How do you handle success? How do you handle, the things that are coming at you real time?
Coach, you're 7-0 when Franz scored 30 or more, 3 of those came in the last week. How much has that emphasis grown in getting him the ball and having him go score?
Well, I think what it is just we continue to make the right play. And a lot of those assists are coming off of, Paulo getting double team on the block and the man right in front of the basketball is Franz. So it makes the rotation a little bit longer. Or it's on the back end when, we understand the mismatch that we have and reading it in real time. So a lot of it is just continuing to play the right way, making the right decision, making the right read. And that's what all these guys continue to do.
Wendell and Gary both kind of reflected on what watching Shaq meant to them as they were kind of growing through the game. Do you have favorite Shaq memories or what he meant here?
I mean, just when I was in high school, I do remember times that he was on the cover of that GQ magazine, and I think as a kid, I posed with the same suit on, trying to, make a joke about it. I think I might try to get the picture from Joel somewhere. But yeah, just his dominance, his presence, what he meant to the league, his energy, his enthusiasm, how charismatic he was, the energy he brought to just, the organization, the city. I think, those are the things that you reflect on. And then his joy for the game, just his ability to love just playing the game and, being and having fun with his teammates.
We were just talking with Gary as well. What have you made of his play? Obviously a small sample size, but for him to be back in the second unit, how has he helped you guys coming off the bench?
Well, defensively, I think he's been great. I think there was times when he's picked up the full court pressure, turning guys over, getting into the basketball, another defender out there, and then his ability to space the floor and knock down shots. And there's a calm and a poise to him as he plays throughout the game that, this group continues to need. To understand that, no, you don't get too high, you don't get too low in any moment. you just continue to stay the course. So that's what he's brought to the table.
How does getting a hard-fought overtime win on Saturday, where you see, Colin Frost continuing a strong play, but Cole having, a really good game, double-double with points, rebounds, Bill get chipping in.
Yeah.
How does that help you guys come into a national television game tomorrow?
It continues to send a message to each one of these guys that it's going to be done by committee. And, whenever your number's called, you stay ready. The work that you put in is worth it. The work that you put in is necessary because sometimes, guys, you don't know when the number is going to be called. And each one of these guys that has been called upon has done their job because that's the greatness of this group, that they're pulling for each other and they're continuing to work together and staying ready when the number's called.
Health-wise, have been still positive?
Yes. Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Gary, leading up into the All-Star break, what was the focus like today? What were you guys able to accomplish with practice before 2 big games here?
Just staying locked in. I mean, we know the break's coming up. We just want to finish going to the break on a good note, especially taking care of this first game tomorrow and then the game after that. So just trying to stay locked in and just trying to continue to tune our focus as we get towards playing basketball in the last half of the season.
You've been back for a handful of games now. How are you feeling physically?
Oh, I feel great. It feels good to get back out there, run up and down. Still getting back into, actual game shape. It's just, being out there with the guys playing, man, there's nothing better than that.
What have you made of the second unit now that it's kind of back to where it started the season, with you back in there and playing alongside those guys and the performance of the second unit back together?
I mean, we have a chance to be in the lead second unit, especially with J.I. out there defensively. It forces us, it allows us to be very aggressive, especially with our ball pressure, and just filling everything to the paint and just continue to, provide that energy, provide that spark, especially to get that first unit to blow.
You've been with teams that have been on kind of in the national spotlight before. Is there something different about playing a game on national broadcast that this team hasn't gone through yet?
I mean, you can sit here and say it's the same game, but it's not. It's a lot more energy in the building. It's something that we just haven't had much of. Not many people have had a chance to see, the special things we've been doing, especially here, in our organization with the team this year. So it's just an opportunity for us to go out there and show the world, how good of a team we've been this year, but not letting it, change how we've been approaching the game. We can't let it change, how we go out there and play, continue to play together, continue to get stops, and continue to focus on being a defensive team, and the rest will take care of itself.
I know you guys are kind of focused one game at a time, but is there extra excitement? Do you feel an extra excitement for tomorrow's game?
Oh, for sure. Everybody knows it. We haven't had the TNT game since I've been here, we haven't had one. So just it's just a testament to see where where the team's been going. We've been improving a lot the past few years, and just we're getting a lot of attention this year. But this is something that started from a few years back. So just continue to trust the process, continue to work hard, continue to play for each other, and hopefully we go out there and get a win on national TV.
With the jersey retirement tomorrow for Shaq, what are your maybe memories of watching him growing up?
No, it's actually crazy. Just we all know Shaq. Just one of my first jerseys was a Shaq Magic jersey. Just to see him get recognized for the player. Everybody knows the type of career, what type of center he was. So just, it's going to be pretty cool that we get to, witness that and be a part of it. Just, he's Magic history for sure.
Does that mean something to you guys, kind of playing into that, being part of his legacy?
I think so. Just because, he made Orlando, he put them on the map, especially when he's here. They've had a lot of good, number one overall picks, over the years, and he's one of the greats. He's one of the greatest all-time players to play the game. And just the fact that we get to acknowledge him and we have a chance to go out there and, play for the same team that he's getting his jersey retired in the Raptors is, motivation to go out there and just, give him the respect by playing as hard as we can to get a win for him.
Gary, you touched on a little bit on J.I.'s defense, earlier. From your perspective, just how special is it what he's doing right now from the defensive standpoint?
I've never seen anything like it. Just the way he plays defense it's fun to watch. It's exciting. Sometimes it's like we put him in bad positions sometimes just to see what he'll do. And then he's going to protect that rim. He's going to play hard. He's going to talk. He's going to communicate. We're definitely a game changer. We're a different team when he's out there, especially defensively.
You guys are coming up on the All-Star break. How much are players asking you, or how much are you kind of giving your experience on being in a playoff chase as the season starts to get to that point?
It's just it's time to start locking in. It's we always talk about a lot of believing and stuff, but it's we still have to believe, but it's realistic. We have an opportunity to do something that nobody really expected us to do. So this is a time when we have to come together even more as a unit, as a group, and continue to lock in more, see how locked in we could be, just to continue to push each other, hold each other accountable, and this is when our focus has to increase even more.
Good deal. Thanks, Gary. So you get ready for these two last games before the All-Star break. What was the focus level like, and what were you guys able to work on in practice today?
Just the standards that we put in place as a team on the defensive end, just being more physical, not allowing offensive rebounds, a lot of emphasis on that today. Then offensively, just limited turnovers. We had a lot of turnovers in those games, even though we did win. We try to hold ourselves to a standard of certain things. So, those are the main three things that we worked on today.
How special is tomorrow night for this unit, from between the national TV game, Shaq's jersey retirement? Like, is there an extra buzz in all practice?
For sure. We're all human. We all kind of know. We don't get many TV games. So this is one of a few. So everybody is going to be super excited, but at the same time, we all understand that we still got a job to do. We'll go out there and get this done.
Has any of the veterans, maybe Joe and Gary, been in these kind of games? Have they kind of told you what it's gonna be like? I think the timeouts are a little longer. Halftime's like a little bit longer too. It's like, have they tried to explain like, hey, it's the same game, but it's a little bit different?
No, not much. No, we haven't really talked about it with. I haven't personally with Gary and Joe. But I'm sure, closer to game time, they'll probably give us a little rundown of what to expect, what to look out for, and yeah.
What do you make of the fact that you're facing a team in the Thunder, and what challenges do they present?
They're a team that kind of has bought into their system of everybody finding their role, everybody accepting their role, and they're all prospering in their role, from Chet to SGA to Jalen Williams. They're doing a really good job of just sharing the ball. Every time I watch them, even though they're not the biggest team, they play really well on both ends of the court. So, it goes to show, why they're number 2, I think, now in the West. So, really good.
Shaq gave his jersey retired tomorrow. What kind of memories do you have of watching him play as a kid?
Definitely the most dominant big man ever. Just to be on the same team that he once played for is always special. I always think about that. And then just to see him getting his jersey retired as I expected, at some point for him. I'm just glad that I'm going to be here, be in the building, be able to see his jersey go up into the rafters.
How much has your defense improved going against a guy like J.I. in practice, and how much do you lean on him to kind of give you some pointers?
Oh yeah, ever since I got to Orlando, he was a guy that I already knew who was one of the best defenders in the league. Unfortunately, he battled a lot of injuries, so he wasn't able to play that much. But once I got here and saw him in practice and some of the games that he was able to play in, I just picked up on some of the things that he was doing, the effort that he puts in. Because at the end of the day, defense is about 90% effort. And he's one of those guys who puts in a lot of effort on defensive end. And it's a couple of techniques that he uses going out there that I try to pick up on and I ask him about. So practice time is definitely a good time for me to just learn things from him, for sure.
Tomorrow's going to be, the first chance for people to really see Paulo and Franz as a duo on the national stage. Yeah. Obviously, having played with them for 2 years, what do you think separates that young duo versus other young duos in the league?
Their will to win. Yes, they're phenomenal scorers. I think we all know that, but what people don't understand is that they do all the little things that help us win. They're very, very, very smart. Very smart players. For them both being very young, they have a really high IQ for the game. So they also just take what the game gives them. They don't try to force anything. They just play the game the right way. So I think that's what makes them so much special than a lot of other young stars in the league.
We saw Cole Anthony put up kind of your stat line.
Yeah.
12 points, 11 rebounds. Can you say anything to them about that? How great was it? It's been a little bit of a slump lately to see him get back in the groove out there.
Man, it felt good just to be out there with him. Knowing that he's been struggling, even though we was winning some games or losing some, whatever the case may have been, for him to just kind of get his groove back, I think was very important, especially going into these last couple games of the season, going into the playoffs. Like, he's going to be a focal point for us. So, I'm glad he's starting to pick it up. And, we all know what he's capable of. So, it was just a matter of time.
Have you talked to Shaq before?
Like a long time ago. Yeah, like when I was in Chicago, it wasn't even here. So yeah, it was a little while ago.
You talked about the fact that you get to be in the building, during that night and during his retirement. Does that put things into perspective to you at all? Where you stand in your career with this team as it's, making for a playoff push?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, I look back at when he was in Orlando. Like, he was a phenomenal player, but it just shows when you win, a lot of people, you get recognition. And so, I ain't gonna lie, I just kind of lost my train of thought right there.
That's all right. That's all right.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
Just on the
my bad.
perspective of Shaq and his retirement, as this team makes a playoff push, like what can you as a group take away from that night? The fact that it is on TNT, the fact that it is Shaq in the building.
I'm sorry, you repeat the question one more time. My bad.
What can the team take away from a night like tomorrow, where there's so much happening? Shaq's going to be in the building. A player like Shaq getting his jersey retirement.
Yeah.
What can the team take away when you make that playoff push after the All-Star break?
I mean, this is probably going to be one of the highest viewed game of ours going into the playoffs. So it's going to be a lot of hype around it. A lot of people posting about it, whatever the case may be. I think it's going to be a good opportunity for us to show how poised we can be when there's a lot of attention on us as a team, a lot of people in the building watching us. So I think it's a great opportunity just for us to get that environment and that feel for the game.
Bill, you touched on this a little bit earlier, but Shaq was a center for this team for a whole era.
Yeah.
White was a center for this team for a whole era. Vooch had a run where he was a long tenured center. Is there something special about playing center for this organization?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. This organization cares about has a special focus on that center position. I mean, from the past, from Shaq to Dwight to Vooch. So this to be a part of it, it just means a lot. And knowing that they take care of their centers here. So I think I'm in a pretty good spot.
Thanks, Tom.